Victor, happy Friday.
Good morning, Ed. How are we doing today?
How about that bumper music?
Who picked that music?
I actually picked that music.
In case you were thinking I picked
I
it.
picked it for the West Coast because, we've had some troubles with you and them, but we're going to fix all that today.
I had no trouble
Because they're
with
showing out.
I have
They're
no
showing
trouble.
out today. You just hang on
I
to
have
your
no
hat.
trouble with the West
They're
Coast.
coming. My
I
man
have no
Roy
trouble
is
with
coming for you. All that.
I've never
coming.
had trouble with the West Coast. I'm
It's
just
coming
saying.
to an end today.
They've had issues with me. That's who they are, belligerent
They have
people
had
on the
issues
West
with you.
Coast. Anyway.
No, I'm saying, hey, in the chat, just throw it in there if you would, please. Like your favorite Thanksgiving Day activity. I posted mine up. It's literally watching the Macy's Day Parade with my granddaughters.
Yeah.
And you just
That's,
sit around, drink some coffee.
That's very Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I think I do a lot of black and white movies. I don't know why.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love like old black and white movies.
Awesome. What else?
Yeah.
Turkey Bowl. Somebody's playing Turkey Bowl.
Turkey?
I used to do that years ago.
What is that?
Where you play football? Again, you're not a sports guy.
Okay, it's a turkey bowl. I thought it was something. Okay, yeah, okay.
Somebody says eating food. Food and football.
Yeah, man.
Food and football. The Dallas Cowboys game. The Cowboys play every Thanksgiving, and so do the Lions. The Cowboys are going this way. The Lions are going this way. Again, Victor doesn't care about sports.
I don't.
He never
you bring up
does.
sports all the time. I don't care about sports. If I ain't getting paid, I don't want to see them play. I gotta put that on the shirt.
Getting my fourth helping
if
of
I ain't
mac
making
and
the
cheese.
money, blah blah blah, the honey. I don't know what it is.
Hanging with my wife.
Kobe
now.
Robinson, are you with me? Stop walking around, man.
Oh, Jake Brisson, we do sushi and sake bombs. Woo.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to hang out with that
Whoa,
person. You okay?
That's a non-traditional Thanksgiving.
JB, invite a brother. Invite me for that one, man.
We poked the...
Chris Mitchell, what's happening? There's somebody standing behind you.
Yeah, who we
I don't
got
know
out
if
there?
that's a Sixth Sense dude, but it is. And we got, what is S Punches?
That's Solid Punches. Those are the cats in DFW, Termite Branch.
Solid Punches.
Solid Punches, man.
Yeah.
He got
Are they
a
any good?
slew of
Are they
people in
any
the
good?
house.
Are they any good, Ed?
Oh, yeah, they're really good.
As a crew? They look kind of mellow. Like
They got some cats on this list.
Do they?
We saw Vista in the house earlier. We saw Vista in the house. They're here. They're here as a
All
group,
right. Adam
which
Cole,
is
what's
outstanding.
happening?
Andy Hall got a whole clan with him, which is outstanding. Who else you see out there?
I see G. Hubbard. Got all kinds of awards in the back. He better be scoring because, if you got all those plaques in the back, G. Hubbard, you better be killing the numbers, man.
Phoenix Joe,
Yeah,
outstanding. Who else we got there?
Cool,
I see
man. Let me
Sean
see.
Archuleta, outstanding. I love all the cameras on and all the backdrops. This is outstanding.
I like Mitchell White.
Brian-
Mitchell White's got the J.C. Penney pose going on
that Michael
right
White?
now.
Yeah, he's very distinguished.
Mitchell White, just like, here's my J.C.
Brian
Penney pose.
Bergeron has left the library. He's like out in the field.
Really?
You see him there?
Very
He's usually
cool,
the guy in the
man.
library. There's Ralph flying the flag.
Zachary says, making fun of my mom's ham.
Oh, that's terrible. I had a friend that his mom made ham gravy.
Zachary has issues. If I were to read this, there's issues going on. April Bunting was happening, always my favorite. Dawn, Marie. So let's get back because she's on us, man.
She's on us, man. If we go
I
too
feel,
long.
I feel like she's that school marm that's just watching them with the ruler.
You're chatting too long.
Yeah, you're chatting too long.
Victor, we weren't going to talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
That was last
All right,
broadcast.
let's go.
Let's get into some numbers because we got some great stuff to talk about. So first off, I think I kind of teased it out in the email that I sent out, kind of reminding you of the broadcast that we had our best overall all three buckets of sales month in October, right? So we slayed the commercial sales, with about a combined national and local sales, about 16% increase in October over last year. So that's outstanding. But this group, as you know, Victor, is primarily focused on residential sales. And they had a smoking residential sales month as well in October. We had that little mulligan that we took very fairly and very openly in September where we kind of stubbed our toe a bit.
Okay.
But y'all came back and just clocked it in October. So October, year over year, sales for the month, traditional termite sales were up 14%. That's the old drill it and fill it.
Yep.
Screaming to the top. Our termite bait across the country was up 9%. Again, almost double digits, but pretty good there. Termite ancillary is up 33%. When you roll it all together at the bottom line,
That's a big one, by the way. That's 30.
monster.
Yeah.
Monster. When you do it all together at the bottom line, termite sales for this company were up 22% in October year over year.
Those are great numbers, man.
Nuts, isn't it? And those reflect out all the way through year-to-date performances too. Total termite sales all rolled together year-to-date, 18% increase. Victor, this is the sixth consecutive year we will run north of a 15% company-wide termite sales increase.
Yeah.
We
need a horn or something.
Something like that,
That's a
right? Or a
celebration,
bell,
man.
sales bell or something we could ring.
Yeah, ding.
And
that's well done, man.
And the performance in October trickled through into the residential side. The side that
Yep.
April. The call center sells about 70 to 72% of our residential sales for us, with the remaining balance, the 30 or 28% kind of handled by our folks in the field. Phenomenal start there. You know, we've explained in the last few broadcasts, we had a bumpy start to residential PC, you know, through the first, I guess, 7 months of the year.
Right.
But that's, you know, where we're just kind of just laying flat, just kind of hanging in there, you know, just hanging around. Well, it started in August. We had an 8% increase in August year over year in residential PC, 9% increase in September.
Right.
And then, where's that horn? Wah, wah, wah.
Yep.
All right? So October, we had a double-digit residential PC sales increase. So, I mean, just outstanding. Just
Amazing
outstanding.
numbers. Great numbers.
Absolutely.
What else are you going to say? They just keep clocking them, man.
Yeah, it just keeps coming. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, we're, you know, year to date, we're 4% above last year,
Okay.
you know, residential PC sales.
Was that the expected number? What was the
We
target
were-
number?
We were kind of targeted on about 6. You know, that's really
Okay.
driven by demand. You know, like
Sure.
the phone rings, right?
Right.
You know, the calls that come in, the pest pressure that's out in the
Right.
in our environment. We kind of budgeted a 6%, 7% increase. We're a little bit behind that, but
Right.
you know, if it keeps coming, and we've had a phenomenal start to November, we're running like a 15, 16% increase in residential PC sales right
Okay.
now. We're going to catch it up. We're going to give it a run.
We're gonna give it a good
We're not
run.
gonna, we're not going to make sales plan in residential PC
Right.
company wide.
Right.
A bunch of the branches in the regions will, but we're going to give it one heck of a run.
Yep.
And a very respectable run based on the demand that we've got. So
And then compared to last year, demand is lower, correct?
yes.
So yeah, so
Demand is
there's
down.
where some of the differentials at.
Yeah, I think it comes into the closure, right? The folks at the call center are getting better with their closure.
Right.
And we're doing a good job in the field of adding mosquito sales. You know, the mosquito sales are, you know, our mosquito sales for the year company-wide are up 28%.
Nice.
You know, so I mean,
Big.
that kind of fills in some of the
Big.
gaps of the down demand.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our mosquito sales are driven by our Orkin sales pros out there, and our Orkin technician pros that are out there.
Right.
By selling additional services to their
Nice.
people. So yeah, it's a great story to talk about. And the most important thing to talk about is my boss happy, right? Because if all these great sales that we all make out there and get after don't convert to profit, then there'll be somebody new in this chair next year, right? So that's how that kind of works in my gig.
Yeah.
So the cool
By
thing
the way,
is,
do you expect Pat to do something special for you if you hit your numbers?
Pat
He'll
to do something. No, he'll
Yeah.
give me-
If he's listening, should he do something
you know what my
special
old boss
for you?
used to tell me?
What?
We paid you for that. And
Okay.
that used to hurt me to the soul.
I know.
Freeman Elliott used to tell me, man, we had a great month. Well, we paid you for that. Just cut me to the core.
That cuts, man.
Yeah, we'll see how Pat reacts.
Yeah.
But the cool news on the profit side, we had a killer, outstanding October on the profit side of the house, and that tied right into pulling it all together for the year. We can kind of predict that number. I don't want to jinx us. I'm going to cross my
Right.
fingers and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're teed up pretty good to bring all those numbers in.
Nice.
We'll make our termite sales plan, no doubt. We will crush our commercial. We will make our profit plan. Like I said, we're going to give that residential PC sales plan a good run. So just
Well
outstanding.
done.
Outstanding.
Well done.
Victor,
Yes.
in addition to those outstanding performances across the country,
Sure.
we had, and let me be mindful, this is October.
Right.
We had 38 of our home sales inspectors get paid on $100,000. The best month we ever had this year was 42. And that was like in one of those seasonal months when some termites might fly around. This October was spectacular. We had 26 last month in September, 38 in October.
Can you say that's an October record at least?
Absolutely. There's no
Lifetime,
doubt.
lifetime.
No doubt. No doubt.
Nice.
And it's just crazy, man, that this happens, you know?
Wonderful, man.
I mean, just outstanding. Why don't we show them the list?
Roll the video.
And Callie's in the house. We should play that song again. Wait till you see this.
Oh,
about that?
Big numbers, man.
Just remember, and just
Big numbers.
Keep doing the math
Big
on
numbers.
14% of that money in commissions.
Nice.
14% in commissions.
Nice.
There's this battle, Victor, brewing at the top. These guys are like trading the haymakers.
I know, man.
Hassan and Tyler at the top. They're both going to sell over $2 million this year, and they're like separated for chairman of the Chairman's Club by like 7,000, like one half of one bundle.
Oh, man.
And it's coming down to the end. There's 45 days left. It's like that cage match, right? You throw him in
Yeah.
the cage.
I got my money on Hassan, though.
You said that last broadcast. You
I'm
got
just
me in
saying,
trouble.
You
got
want
me
to
in
take
trouble.
Tyler Jones for $1? Come on, take Tyler Jones for $1. You can't do it.
How can I bet on one of my people to beat the other one?
Oh, my bad.
That's not
my
even
bad.
right. That's
Maybe
not even-
Roy will take that bet. Roy, you want to take that bet? $1.
Leave
You
Roy
got-
alone.
Yeah.
Keep Roy out of this. No, but
Great numbers, though.
Jumping off the page, I
Yep.
mean, literally, I guess I selected that music coming in based on the fact that there are 8 folks from California on this.
What?
8. 25% of them
West
are from
Coast?
California.
Wow.
You give them some love right now.
You know, I mean, they did well.
Oh, here
They
we go.
did. You know, the West Coast did well. You know, the thing is,
They led the way.
They've been lagging all year.
Oh, they have
And
not.
so-
They have not. They're on their
They've
sales
been
plan.
lagging all year.
Leave 'em- Stop.
Finally, West Coast says, okay, you know, we're going to actually put in some time,
Stop.
put in some work.
Stop.
Finally, we see some good numbers.
Look
Okay.
at that list.
I'll throw you some flowers. Here's your flowers. Okay.
You got the Worth brothers. You got the Worth brothers there. You got Danny Uribe.
By the way, I see Roy going, I'll kill him. I'll just kill him. I'll just
coming
kill him next time.
David Garcias, Gabe Martinez, Rodney Jones. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
just crazy. I mean, just nuts.
Ralph says, stop hating, Victor. Yield to the props.
And Jose Aguilar out there leading the win.
Yeah, some good
leading the
I
pack
see
out there
Sam
on the
Boo's
West
up
Coast.
there also.
Amen. Just outstanding.
Roy got some decent numbers here.
Roy got
122
Roy
kills.
got his
Those are
game.
good numbers.
Look
Roy.
at him.
Good numbers, Roy.
He's
Good
loving
numbers, Roy.
life. He's
But
loving
yeah,
life.
any surprises on this list? Any?
Yeah, there are a couple things that we should. Oh, somebody's giving Roy the shout outs. Look at that. Look at that behind us. There's a couple things I want to note. A couple of names that were new to me, and sometimes
Oh.
I got to chase these down. So I'll start with Josh Rankert up there in Indiana with 127,000.
Yeah.
3 months he's been here, Victor.
Wow.
3 months.
Well done.
Literally from
Well
start
done.
to finish. He was hired 3 months ago.
Really?
And threw up $127,000.
Yeah.
Just super cool.
Wow.
Just super
Wow.
cool. Couple brand new guys from Iowa showing up. Carter Daniel.
Carter
He was there, and Bradley Murray. Again, relatively new salespeople into the game. A couple of these guys have transferred from technician into sales. That's always a great path for our home sales inspectors.
Plus, there's nothing else to do in Iowa.
What, now you're going to get Iowa people. You realize
What else you gonna do in Iowa? Let's go sell pest control because I got nothing else to do.
every time you
Yeah.
pop off, I got to unpack all this stuff, and I'm going to quit inviting you. No, hey, the cool thing about this is it's when you look at the group at 38, it's East Coast, West Coast, North
all
Coast,
over the
South
place,
Coast.
yeah. Got
It's
some
all
great
over the
numbers.
place, led by SoCal region with 4, Maryland region with 4, North Carolina, South Carolina with 3 apiece, Michigan coming in with 3, and Southwest Texas with 3. So again, the reminder to everybody, you
Yep.
could be here for 3 months and throw up $100,000 paid on.
Yep.
You could be here for Roger Kennedy I don't know if he's on the list this time. You could be on the list forever and be here employed for 30 years and still make this number.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter where you live. I think that's the message there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spread all the way around.
Just super
Congrats.
cool.
And also the call center.
Yeah, the call center, outstanding
some nice
numbers, right?
numbers,
You know,
man.
April and Tim's team and Jeff's team out there, just outstanding. Steven Garza led the way. Steven Garza is one of the, I don't want to call them transplants, but that wouldn't be fair. So what we've been able to do with our call center being remote now that we had to close the building when COVID hit, and,
Right.
you know, we figured out a way to really make that go. We've had the opportunity to convert some of our folks in the field to these
Right.
jobs, right?
Right.
You know, like you think about like some of the limitations that we get when we can't crawl houses anymore. You know, I use David Payne as an example. I use Tony Iverson. When we get to the point where, you know, it's allowed us to extend careers
Yeah.
of really good people. But the other thing it's done, and April would be the first to tell you this, that by infusing folks from the field, we have branch managers, ex-branch managers, ex-region managers, a lot of ex-salespeople that make that transition to working from home on the phones.
You never mentioned that before.
And
It's really fascinating.
And
Yeah.
because they don't have to be in an office.
Yeah.
And so now they share experience. When they get into these huddles, and we have these agents that maybe don't have the field experience, and they get on with the Charlie Nolan, who was sold termite for 15
Yeah.
years for us in
Right.
Kentucky. They get on with the Steve Oles, that was a region manager, did every step of the way. They bring that field focus, and it makes them
love that,
understand
man.
better
Yeah.
what goes on out in the field. So it's been just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's
Not
good.
only being
It's a-
able to extend careers.
That's what I'll say. That's an interesting perspective. I never
Yeah.
looked at it from that perspective. You can extend a career.
Yeah,
By
Tim
letting them work from home.
Tarantello just did those podcasts that come out. He just taped one yesterday.
Was it
And
long or short?
Well, Tim, it's long, but I don't know. I haven't heard it. But he talked a lot about the transition that we've made with some of our folks
Yeah.
from the field, extending their careers and
That is pretty
bringing the value to the whole team.
Yeah.
To the whole team. So
Holding on. It's almost like not losing that experience. You're
Yeah.
just holding on to as much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's
Absolutely.
great. But yeah, these numbers are impressive. And I think you mentioned something. I asked you this about this because Wednesday we talked about some of the folks who were, I guess, listening in on some of the call center calls.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so today there are 29 leadership in action graduates that are going to graduate to be branch managers. Some of them are already running operations, and they're
Right.
spread out, and maybe one of y'all is working for one of them, but they're having their graduation. So what they did on Tuesday morning is they sat next. We brought 16 agents into the 16 or 17 agents into the home office. Actually, set them up back in the marketing office because we don't have the call center anymore. And then they sat side saddle and they sat next to the agents when the agents took the calls. So they got this new clear understanding of what happens. You know, they understood the fragility of a sale that happens in 7 to 8 minutes. You know, so they got that whole experience
Yeah.
to hear
That's
that and
cool.
to see the conversion. You know, the closures at 6. Well, I did the math with them. I did a little sales meeting with them yesterday.
Right.
The math on that. You know, the calls that they were involved in.
Right.
Call center agent closed 67% of the calls that they took.
Wow. Okay.
So again, it's that.
And this is over the phone, right? So this is
over
like,
the
and what's like the average like deal size? If I can
Anywhere from $1,000, that's like $900 to $1,000. And we sell some one-time services.
Yeah.
You know, you put a whole bundle together, like a mosquito bundle. You're
Right,
talking
right.
$1,200 over the phone in 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's a mind blower.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys are used to it because you're Orkin, but from the outside looking in,
Yeah.
that means marketing and the brand really must carry into that phone call.
It does.
Do you know what I mean?
It does, and it's going to
Yeah.
tie into what we're going to talk about here in
Yeah.
a minute. But the other thing I would say is that the real sale is made not, and April would be the first one to say this, is not made at the call center. The real sale is made when that truck rolls into the driveway. When that truck rolls into the driveway, because again, it was a 7-8 minute conversation.
Yep.
They said yes. They gave us a credit card, and now we roll out, and now we got to reinforce what was
Yeah,
said there, or
absolutely.
or debunk something might have been said.
Jeffrey
Anything in the
Steele
chat?
says the average sale today is $800.
There you go, and he would know because he's the guy that runs the place.
Okay, there you go. And Mark McDonald said it's the man/woman, not the land. I hear
Yeah,
that.
and
We always talk about that all the time.
There's BB talking about his graduates. That's a good group.
Yep.
Monique, Joe, and Joe down there
Yep.
out of Central Cal graduating today. So cool. Give
Great
them a
numbers.
shot of thanks if you get a chance. I'm going to go see them, watch them graduate here in a
Yeah.
little bit. But we had we got served up a topic from the field that I think is really important, and it kind of
was a good one.
Yeah, it was a
was a good
really
one.
good one. So Marty Cotter, who's the region manager in Ohio, right, and has been in Indiana region, been up in Michigan, done every job in the company from technician to service manager to branch manager to RSM to now region manager, saying grace over Ohio, sent me an email. And I think the world of Marty. This is where I kind of
Sounds like a setup, but go ahead.
yeah, I share my soul and how bad I am as a person, right? So Marty sends me this email,
Yes.
and Victor, I see it.
Yep.
See it on my phone, see it on my laptop.
Pay attention. This is going to be very insightful.
It's very, very hurtful.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
I didn't read it. I looked at it and I said,
What? Shocking. Ed didn't read your email. Go ahead.
Stop.
Keep
I'm going to throw you out of here. So I get the email. I have all intentions of reading it. Again, I think the world of this guy. And I say to myself, I'll get to that later. 30 minutes later, I get a text from Marty. My phone goes off.
Uh-huh.
It's Marty, and it simply said one thing. Sent you an email. That's all it said. Sent you an
4
email.
words. Sent you an email.
Sent you an email.
Sent you an email.
So now he's tugging at my heartstrings, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't read his email. What a jerk
Yeah.
I am.
Right, right.
So what do you think I did?
You checked out the email.
I went and read his email.
Right.
And the email is going to be all revolved around how we communicate. So it's perfect timing,
Yep.
right?
It is.
On
It is.
how we talk about this. So
It is.
we have questions. Marty served up some questions. He
Yep.
said, I'd like to see you and Victor kick this around,
Yep.
right? So if you've got those kind of thoughts going on, send it to me. Send me an email, but follow up with the text because I
Yeah,
might
yeah,
not
yeah.
open your email. That's terrible to say about myself.
Yep.
But
we all do that.
Yeah.
We got so many emails scrolling by. I've done that too, Ed. Full confession.
Yeah.
Right? And then somebody says, hey, I sent you an email. And I'm like, oh, let me go look at it. Because apparently it's that important. I should go check it out. And that's what Marty was saying.
It was that reminder.
Yep.
And if you think about the way that you get emails and people get emails, you know, in that half hour that Marty sent me that email, there's a pretty good likelihood I got emails from other people.
Yeah.
So Marty's kind of went down the list.
Yeah. How many emails a day do you get, Ed?
I get
know
a
it
bunch,
varies.
and
It
I
varies.
don't want to do a swan song here, but I mean
Yeah.
I get over 100 a day.
Okay.
But that's
Okay.
there's some unique stuff that makes
Sure.
that happen, right? I review a bunch of stuff, but certainly not the norm. But the follow up with the text messages forced me back, and Marty's questions were really around how people communicate. And what I thought we would do is we would break it down into really two scenarios here for these folks. Primarily focusing on the inbound lead that our home sales inspectors get.
Yep.
Fair enough? And the speed the lead and how important it is to get to it, right?
Right.
So let's talk about some. So
Okay.
Victor and I chatted about this after Marty got it to me and I finally read it. And we got together and he did a bunch of research and then we kicked it around a little bit. So
Yep.
let's go to that. I want you right now, you salespeople out there, to think about the inbound lead that comes to you.
Yep.
Now, there's all different processes all around the country that are a little bit different. It drives me batty, right? That we don't have a solid flow. But if the inbound lead comes to you on your phone, if it comes via email, however it comes to you, I want to talk about how important it is to respond now, to triage it. So let's talk.
Let's show them
through
the
that.
data points. All right, so here's the data that I found online, and this data is pretty recent. By that I mean a year old, and I'm getting something here that says, I don't know what that is. Hold on a second. I got a load up thing.
Your slide.
Cancel, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what that is with my. Look at this number 78% of customers purchase from the first responder. That was big to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's 80. Let's just call that 80% of the first
Victor, that's what
responder.
happens at the call center.
Yep.
You know, the job for the call center and why we sell pest control over the phone,
Right.
is that we want them to get a solution,
Right.
get a solution served up by one of our sales pros in the call center,
Right.
and hang up the phone,
Right.
and don't call anybody else. That's why we do it that way, in case you were wondering.
Just get to them right away. All right, second data point that I thought was interesting was this one right here. Conversion rates are 8 times higher in the first 5 minutes. That's a big one. And this last one this one kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think it was this bad. Responding to leads after 30 minutes is 2x less effective. That's a big number, Ed.
Monster number.
That's a monster number. So let me just show you what some of the data is now showing.
Let's back that up just 1 second.
One more?
And I want you to stay focused on an inbound lead and however you get it.
Right.
Right? However you get it, when it comes to you, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? What are you going to do with it first?
Right.
You know, I think a bunch of you heard me talk about triaging. We got to immediately triage it.
Absolutely.
Whenever you get it, you got to triage it. You know, hey, Mr. Elgato, this is Ed over at Orkin. I see we're set up tomorrow between 4 and 6. What are you having a problem with, right?
Right.
So I can immediately get into the game. So
Just
I
that-
triage it.
just that question
Just
right
that,
there.
Nothing more. The
Yep.
Matt Donnelly ask of an inbound lead.
Yep.
What are you having a problem with? So you can triage it then.
Yep.
Well, I just want a free home inspection. Or, you know, there's termites swarming out of my baseboard.
Right.
I got a rat running around. I'm panicked. So then you kind of figure out where it goes. It's just like walking into the hospital, you know,
Right.
the emergency room. If I've got a broken arm, you know,
Yeah.
and you come in with a grabber,
Right.
you're going ahead of me, right? And I think you do the same thing with the leads, and you function with them that way.
Right.
There are some of these leads you got to get to now because 78% of them
That's
buy
right.
from the first one that gets
Absolutely. 'Cause
there. So that's the piece of the triage. But how do you get a hold of them? It comes to you via text or email to your phone. What do you do with it? So let's talk
Right.
about the different ways that people communicate. And these were the
These are interesting numbers. All right, so here's some of the numbers. Again, very recent numbers. On average, this is how many times per day do you check your text? That was the question. Look at these numbers, 20%, 1 to 5 times, 6 to 10 times per day, 27. In other words, people are checking their text.
Yes.
So that's an obvious statement. Anything to add to that one?
No.
Then number 2 here, this one was now, not let's get away from text, let's go to email. And I want you guys to rush to the bottom and look at this. 53% of consumers check their text messages 11 times per day or more.
yeah.
11 times.
Yeah.
Right? And then, but look at what they do with email, which is kind of what our
Yeah.
problem is, right?
Amen.
Only 29 check their email at the same rate, which means text is dominant when it comes to checking and getting updates.
Absolutely. So, we want you to put in the chat. This worked well on Wednesday. So let's say that lead hits your phone. What are you doing? Calling, texting, emailing? Give me your cadence, right?
Yeah, whatever your cadence is.
Whatever it is. What do you do first, right?
Yeah.
You get that lead hits your phone. Put it in the chat what you do first.
By the way, make it easy. Give me the C, call, text. Email. Call, text, email.
CTE. What's your
CTE,
rotation?
or do you text, email, then call,
Yeah.
etc. ETC, right?
Perfect.
So what's your sequence? John Handa says all the above.
But
I like-
what's your sequence?
What's
Help
your
us out, John.
sequence,
What's your
though? Give me the
sequence?
sequence.
What do you do first?
Okay, Marcus Holmes says call, text, email. He's going with the CTE.
Keep coming.
Anthony is going call, text, maybe an email. Rick Rodriguez says CTE.
Keep
a lot
coming.
of CTEs in here. Somebody's going at Jose Ernesto Aguilar says ETC, email, text, call. That's an interesting sequence.
There you go.
Call first, followed by text. And like I said, I don't know what the right sequence is, but I think I would call first. That would be me.
Yeah.
I think I would call first and then text them. I just left you a voicemail, and then follow up with an email. I like that. To me, that would be my cadence.
I probably would do that too.
Yeah.
But here's the hang up. When you call, they don't know who you are. Our phones don't identify as Orkin.
Right.
So let's talk about that for just a second. So I would do the same thing. I would call first. So, and I don't know why I would even say that because of the behavior that I have. If I get a call from a number that I don't know,
Right.
there's no chance on this planet that I'm even answering.
Right.
What will I do? I won't answer it.
Right.
I'll let it roll to voicemail.
Right.
And then, quite frankly, I might not even listen to the voicemail.
Right.
You know, it's a number coming from the outside. So how can we enhance that, right? You know, we're going to talk a little bit about Marty's questions, but the CTE might make some sense, right?
Right.
So you call them, you get that voicemail. You know, we've had some discussions, should we leave a voicemail, should we not leave a voicemail? I think if we don't leave a, you know, kind of a professional, kind of scripted, in the moment kind of voicemail,
Right.
we're missing a chance.
Right.
The likelihood of them opening it might not happen. But how do you read your voicemail? Read your voicemails. Just like I do.
read my voicemails.
Yeah.
So if it's an inbound call, I don't take it. If they leave a voicemail, what I do is I don't listen to the voicemail. I got to be honest. I think I've done that to you several times.
Yep.
But I look at the transcript.
Yeah.
You know, but if I know it's you, Ed, I just call you right back. And
Right.
you're going to say, Victor, did you listen to my voicemail? What am I going to say? No.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, I didn't read it or hear it.
So
You
I
know?
quit leaving them for.
But yeah.
But think about that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get into that spot, you're calling in unidentified, right?
Right.
You got to do something else. You got to do
Yeah.
something else. Don't miss the opportunity to leave a voicemail. I think you should. There might be a
I
few
think you
folks
should.
out there that leave it.
Yeah. There's something about, for me, it's my personal opinion, there's something when I leave a voicemail, they hear my voice.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I'm just saying, I'm hoping to sound familiar and friendly.
Yeah.
And so when I say, hey, I just left you a voicemail with the text,
Yep.
they'll want to listen to what I just left. Oh, he called. And
Yeah,
I didn't have him in my contact
And
list.
if you think about that whole engagement I had with Marty,
Right.
again, I knew it was Marty.
Right.
He sent me an email. I still didn't open the email.
Right.
But I was prompted by his text saying, hey, you might want to answer that.
Yeah.
You might want to.
The inbox is overwhelming. By the way, Jose Ernesto Aguilar says most people are working, so email works best. But let's frame this one, because if you get the lead, let's assume that the speed to lead from the call center to you was less than 15, 20 minutes.
Hopefully that's the case.
You
There's
know,
not a
whatever
delay,
that
right?
time
Yeah.
frame is. So that tells me they're not at work and they need something addressed right away,
Could
which
be.
is why I would call.
Could be.
That would be me. That's how I would frame that conversation. I'm not saying he's wrong,
No.
but I'm saying I want to call and let them know I'm here for you. Even if they don't answer, I want to leave that voicemail.
Yeah, and I think sometimes some of the leads that we get come in,
Mm.
they didn't call the call center, they came through the web form. So these people haven't called the call center, so
Right.
should we respond the way that they came to us with an email? So, I mean, that makes some
Yeah.
sense. So I don't know that we're going to settle on
What sequence is
what
right?
sequence is right or what you should do, but I think some of them said, do all of them.
Yep.
And I'll give you an example. So one more example, Jamie Benton, the guy that's in charge of HR down here, he called me the other day when I was driving into the office. He didn't call me. He sent me a text. I'm driving into the office. And I was having issues with my phone on trying to get it. I can't get the text to talk work. I think they
Right.
fixed it yesterday. So he sent me a text. I probably should have responded via text, right? But I'm
Ooh.
driving. I'm trying to do all the right stuff. I keep doing stuff wrong.
Yeah.
So what I did is I was hands-free, so I called him, and I left him.
I'm sure you violated some cardinal rule about when people text you, they want you to text them back.
Yeah,
That's my
and
understanding.
I knew it, but I still did it anyway
Okay,
because I'm a knucklehead.
Yeah.
So when I got to where I was going, I called him again, broke another rule
Right,
instead of
right.
texting him. And I said, hey, Jamie, I explained the whole mess about my phone. I can't talk to text.
Right.
Sorry about that. Apologize. Fell on my sword. But then I said, I left you a voicemail. And before I even got that out of my mouth, he said, well, I didn't listen to it. This is so appropriate for what we were going to talk about this week.
Absolutely.
So appropriate.
Let's get into Marty's questions.
Yeah,
I think it's really interesting. So here are Marty's questions this is actually letting you know that we actually take your feedback. So if you want us to cover something, we'll actually do it.
Absolutely.
The first question he had was with regarding text. We covered that already, which is, should we text a customer before calling or after calling? And again, this is like a philosophical debate.
So you got the lead. The lead came in. What should you do? Just put it in the
Right.
chat. Just answer that
yep.
question without the other piece.
Danny says after calling. By the way, Mark Rui said a well-worded text is an immediate introduction. Can't argue with that.
There you go.
Can't argue with that. Adam Humphrey says after. So well done.
Anybody else? After.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are going to be, text and call before, after. Jamira Robinson.
Cool.
Yeah, love it. All right,
Cool.
Let's go to the next one.
Yep.
The next one is, should we email the customer? Do we send a text letting them know we just sent an email?
That's the place with Marty.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I say yes. Yeah. Again, this is obvious stuff. We're just restating what's obvious.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's kick it back, and I want you to tell a story about the dude at Starbucks that kind of enlightened you, which you probably already knew it.
Yeah.
But talking about how you identify yourself. So you call them. They don't know who you are.
Right.
You send them
A text.
Yep. And you come up with all this mumbo jumbo. Hey, this is Ed with Orkin. I'm the local rep. Blah blah blah. I just left you a voicemail.
Yep.
You know, you can reach me at my cell phone number.
That's exactly how the conversation went.
Right? What did this guy tell you how to do?
He said, Victor, you don't have to write all that. He says, just go into your shared contact information before you send out a text. And it'll send your contact information immediately.
And it's got your picture.
And it's got everything. It's got my picture
got your
and everything.
Email. They know where
I
you're
really
from.
feel like slapping myself on the forehead because I've never used it like that. You know, I always say, hey, this is Victor Antonio. And I'm like, why do I do that when I could just say share contact?
And then they have it all. They got
And then
your
they have
email.
it all.
They got your website. They got all of it.
They have all of it. It was
Yeah.
just, it was one of those, it was moment
so
for me.
I guess, there's another
There's
question,
one
right?
more, which
Yeah.
is the voicemail one. Should we leave voicemail or just follow up with text? I say you got to leave the voicemail. I like the voicemail.
Even though some of the data tells us that that we should be texting, I think we do both.
Right.
But I think if you call and you get a voicemail,
Right.
leave one on the off chance that they're going to listen to it.
Absolutely.
they're gonna listen to
Absolutely.
it.
And also and keep in mind that with the voicemail, you can leave more detail. Because, I mean, I don't know about you. I don't like typing a lot into text.
Right.
And then if I know they're not going to read the email if it's too long.
Yep.
So with voice, you can actually kind of give a lot of content, but in a short format.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But let me show you the final data piece. I think this is interesting because this kind of gives you a hierarchy of where the data is. So on this last slide, we'll go to the slide. Now, there you go. All right. Which activities do you engage with most while using your phone during the day? And look at this, 76%, almost 77%, said texting.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. And then I would say here's the priority, the hierarchy, I should say. Texting, email, then voicemail. That's what people are responding to. And I love those data points because I think it tells us how we've changed.
Ties it all together.
Yeah, because you're thinking, I got a call. Like I've learned from my kids,
Yeah.
if they text me, don't call them.
Yep.
Because they won't answer.
Yeah.
So I go, I get it now. So they've trained me to say, if I text you, you text me.
Yeah.
If I call you, leave a voicemail, then you can call me.
The other thing I think that we get confused with sometimes, and I stumbled with this for a while, I think we tend to generation.
Yeah, generational gaps between.
The young people want to be texted, the old people don't want to be texted. I'm sitting here standing in front of you at 64 years old.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Don't email me. You
Yeah.
want to get me? Text me. My dad, 91 years old, texts. Right. So I think sometimes we loop it all. Like we try to determine how we should be communicating with our potential customers.
Right.
Where at the end of the day, I think the solution is all three.
All three.
All three.
Yep.
The other thing I would mention to you too, so I have a lot of text responses that I have in as keywords, right? If you haven't figured out how to work keyword, just go out to YouTube, go out to Google and say, how do I work keywords on my iPhone? So after we did this broadcast on Wednesday, I got about 20 different messages that are really easy. If I type one word, the whole message comes up. It said Donahue, blah, 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 blah. And you just type one word. That's the whole deal with keywords on your iPad and your iPhone. So every one of those I went and looked at, Victor, and I said, all I needed to do with half of these is send my contact.
That's it.
Because they all started out with Ed Donahue with Orkin.
Yeah.
Here's my phone number.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, boy, is that stupid?
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of
Share
that same
contact.
thing. So
Yeah.
what else?
Ralph just corrected us here by saying generalized by generation. He says, I think that's what you meant to say.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph. Jose says,
you could send
a
pigeons.
voicemail also lets the customer know who is calling and more likely to pick up the next call. I agree with that.
Amen.
I agree with that.
And I think the mindset is here that you got to realize that they don't know who you are on this first one.
Yep.
You know, when you get with them and you hang out with them, you can find out, hey, man,
Yeah.
Victor, what way do you prefer that we communicate with you moving forward?
Yeah.
You know, if you got a proposal and it's a pending proposal, how should we communicate? And I think even with our lost proposals, you know,
Yep.
well, I hear from salespeople all the time, well, where are you at with that lead? Well, I left the guy 3 voicemail messages.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just wash your hands of it then? Or did you try to combine all different ways of touching that person, right? Because typically the phone numbers that we get these days, very few people anymore have home phones,
Yep.
right?
Everybody's
The numbers that are in all these leads you're getting typically are a cell phone number.
Yeah.
So don't miss the opportunity.
Does
to take
anybody
advantage.
really have a home phone anymore? Does
We have one
anybody?
because we got bundled by our
Oh, okay.
internet guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know the number.
I haven't
to it.
seen
It
I
never
haven't seen a
rings.
telephone in the house in a long
Yeah,
time.
there's no telephone. It just pops up on
Yeah.
the TV once in a
By
while.
the way, BB, Brian Bergeron says the same thing. It's okay to ask customers, you know, what's your preferred mode of communication?
Yeah.
I do. Paula Jones apparently still has a telephone in her house.
I do.
You know,
I got
does
love
it have the coily thing or is it wireless?
Or the dial?
No, not the dial. Come on.
Does it hang on the wall?
No, the you know, the cord is it curled up? You know what I mean?
Where you got to hold it and let it unwind?
You know what I'm talking? Yeah, that one. You got to let yeah.
We're not doing so good here.
All right, we're
with
not doing so good.
communicating.
Let's move on. This is not going well.
So-
Young generation's going, what?
Yeah, I think that
Yep.
I think that kind of wraps it up. I think to summarize it, communicate every kind of which way you can to them
Yeah.
to get a hold of them. But the importance is triaging that lead immediately.
Yeah.
Getting after it. So
I think that's the big message. You know,
Yeah.
within 5 minutes, they choose the first responder, and you're 8x likely to increase if you do it within the first 5 minutes.
yeah,
That's
and
a
again,
big
it
number.
just impresses the daylights out of them when you're
Yeah,
on it.
absolutely.
And you're just confirming it. And you know, if you think about the whole experience at the call center, the agent may have set the appointment when it showed an opening on your calendar, and maybe if they're standing on the chair because there's termites swarming out, you find out, well, this is pretty heavy duty.
Yeah.
I got to go now.
Yep.
And you start to shift stuff around. That's that whole
Yep.
triage piece of how you handle inbound leads.
Yep.
All right, let's get out of here. I just have a couple housekeeping things.
Well, I thought we'd do a quiz first.
Oh, that's right. We should do the quiz first. Were they paying attention, Victor?
All right, guys, it's time to play, man. Let's see if you're paying attention again.
Were you paying attention, unlike me?
Let's go. You know how this works, everybody. Chris Mitchell, get on there, man, with your mustache. Get yourself on there.
Get
man.
in there.
Scott Spellman.
B. Worth is putting it in.
All right.
There's David Garcia. Gary Hubbard's trying to study it.
By
He's
the way,
getting after it.
Tony Braden with a mustache like that.
There's a
That's
lot
it.
of
You get-
mustaches. You know, we noticed
Yeah.
that with this November,
You know,
shave November.
you know who Tony Braden reminds me of as everybody logs in?
Who?
He reminds me of, you ever see like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Then there's that old guy giving advice
What?
with the white mustache, the little snowman guy. All right, moving on. But anyway, go to menti.com on your browser. Tony's like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I'll show you a picture next time. All right, enter the code 2291982. If you're using, again, a browser, go to menti.com, enter the code. If you're using your phone, you know the deal. Scan the QR code. Paula Jones says, you mean that's Old Frosty? Yeah, maybe that's
Frosty.
Old Frosty. Tony, you know what I'm talking about. Get on there. All right, we got to 45. We're getting up there.
We got to get a few more.
By
Come
the
on.
way, I'm just saying, I'm putting this out there. Since you've highlighted and hyped up the West Coast, if they don't win this one, or at least come in second place, shame on the West Coast.
Well, I got my money on Vista. They got a whole group of them there together.
I don't know.
You know, but something that could create dissension with their answers.
You know how West Coast is.
Let's.
All right, here we go. All right, in 3, 2, 1, here we go.
$100 Amazon gift card for the winner, 50 for second. Let's go.
All right, here we go. First question. Oh, look at all those beautiful avatars. Remember, use a cool name, because cool names are cool. All right. Answer quick. The first one's easy. It's a layup. This one's easy. It's a layup. Here it comes. What is the minimum dollar amount Rack will finance?
There's a lot
Oh.
of rack stars on this call.
A lot of rack stars?
A lot of cats that
I
were
like
in
that.
DC.
Rack stars. That's pretty
Rack
good, actually.
stars.
Did you mean that? Because that's
I
pretty cool,
invented
actually.
that myself, and
Yeah,
it
that is
was
pretty cool.
Racktober last month too.
Look at that. 26 people got it right. Everybody else got it wrong. Let's see who these folks are. Oh, Curtis of Maryland saying East Coast is in the house. I don't know who the hustler is. You got Adam Humphrey sneaking in there. And those are our numbers. Question number 2. Let's keep this thing rolling. We're going to speed. Speed the lead, so it's speed the quiz. Boom. What percentage of customers purchase from the first responder?
This is the rule of recency. We just talked about it.
Talked about it.
Who's got it?
What percentage of customers purchase from the first responder? Easy one. This is 100%. I feel everybody should get this one. And most of them got it, which is,
Nice.
it's not bad. I'll take that. I'm
Amen.
taking that. Let's see who's working what. Is the hustler still hustling? Is Adam Humphrey just being bold here? Brand the Broken. Love that. I love that. Brand the Broken. Love site. Adam Humphrey. Nicholas. Pingu is back. The hustler drops. Clippy is pulling up the rear. Here we go. Okay, this one I call this a sifting question. Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Going back
Here we
to
go.
last month.
Here we go. Here we go. The blocking objections course lessons can be found under which of the 7 P's categories?
The most important session of Victor's training in the Sales Velocity
Is the
Academy.
blocking objections. That should be 100%.
That's your moneymaker.
This is the moneymaker, man. Boom, 27 people got it. I'm pretty happy about that number, by the
I am
way.
too.
Yeah, here we go. Leaderboard. We got Gordo on top on that one. Adam Humphrey sneaking up. Nicholas. Pingu is moving up. Thinky is thinking about it. Clippy's moving. Adam moves into the first position. Hustler drops. This is getting bad. All right, here we go. Next question. Jumping in again. This one I think everybody should get. I think we covered this one nicely. What percentage of customers check their text message more than 11 times per day, per day, per day? Easy one. By the way, Russell Huffy says, we don't sell anything that low, Victor. We are closers.
I saw that.
Oh, man. Okay, only 18 people got this one right. Wah, 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 wah. Moving on. Where's the West Coast? I don't see West Coast out here. Adam Humphrey.
He's
can
West
he hold
Coast.
on? Gordo, can he hold on? Gordo's moving in. Pingu, Thinky, Dwayne.
I think Gordo's West Coast. I think
Okay,
that might be
it's Gordo. All right, let's see what they got. Here we
Put it
go.
in the chat.
Okay, here's another sifting question right here. If you're Gordo, type that in the chat. We want to know who you are. The client says lessons can be found under which 7P's tab?
This is that one where you give them answers to 35 different things a customer could say.
That's right.
Scripted responses.
How to respond.
And how to make them theirs.
Everybody should have gotten this one. Let's see what happens. Let's see. And the majority got it right.
I'll
so
take it.
I guess,
I'll take it.
Okay, close to the majority. All right, here he is. Gordo, Adam Humphrey. Uh-oh. Adam's moving up. I got a feeling. Pingu fell on that one. Think he might be sliding up. ET is moving up. Boom. ET is number 5. Where's Adam Humphrey from?
He's out west.
All right.
He's up there in the northwest.
All right. Oh, it's northwest. Like where? Like where? Like Portland? What?
Yeah,
Okay.
that area.
Seattle?
Portland.
What percentage of customers check their emails less than 10 times a day? Think he is West Coast, says Ruff. All right. 2, 1. Here we go. All right. Oh, there's a spread on that one. Oh, okay. All right. I got a feeling we're shuffling. Boom. Watson. Adam's holding on. Gordo's falling. Dwayne might be moving up. There it is. Adam, Thinky. Okay.
And Watson.
And Watson. Watson, come here. Watson, come here. Okay. If you got that, good. Last one. This is Ed's favorite. Here we go. What is Ed Donahue's opinion on a minimum HSI acceptable personal market share?
RAC market share.
RAC market
If you're
share.
not there, you're cheating yourself out of commissions. I say it every time I get in front of folks.
Oh, look at that. Okay, only 12 people got it. I'm going to get some sound effects.
The higher
for the next
numbers
one.
will work, though. We'll take the higher numbers.
We'll take the higher numbers. All right, now, this is it.
This is it.
Let's see the
Who
leaderboard.
is the winner?
Let's see the leaderboard. Oh, Varoom. I don't know, Varoom. Can you still do it? Watson might pull in
Watson
second.
might sneak into the money.
All right. Okay, so there you go. Adam Humphrey wins with
Is our winner.
Watson number 2. Adam, where are you specifically at? And then who's
Watson.
Who's Watson?
In the chat, Watson, put who you are, brother.
All right, Watson. There you go. Nice job,
Watson.
guys. Nice job.
Get it in the chat so I can get.
He's in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, Kevin Tinsley is Watson.
Where's that?
Outstanding. He's
Where's
West
Kevin
Coast.
at?
He's running that team out there of sellers out there
Where?
in California.
Oh, so they got 2 on
He's
the
in
West
RSM.
Coast. Okay, so I guess we got 2 in the West Coast.
Amen.
All right,
And
all right.
by God, we should bump her out with that song. But I got a couple housekeeping things to get through. If we can do
Absolutely.
that. Real quick. Last month, all the region sales managers were asked to send me the names and the email addresses of all the folks that they wanted to grant the Sales Velocity Academy access to. A lot of our RSMs did a really good job of getting those to me quickly after the broadcast, Victor. I've sent those to Camille already, and they've been granted access. We got a little bit of a hiccup with it. I'll explain it here in a second. The ones that sent them in a little bit late, a little bit tardy, I'm going to send that list to Camille this weekend. So if you need a second chance to put your names in, do that. Here's the glitch we've got in our system, and it has to do with our security, our spam filters that we have in place. All those emails, there were like 4 of them that went out granting access. It gave you access to the academy, sent you a password, gave you access to the whole library of books, and there was another one I think that went out as well. All those ended up in the junk file, right? In your junk file on your phone. So what you've got to do is you've got to go into your junk file. If your people say, I don't see the access, and even you folks that got in there, let me know if you're having that problem, because all that stuff goes to junk. You just got to unleash it. You got to put it back into your regular email, and then you can access and you can get the access into the academy. So make sure you do that. To kind of step on that a little bit too, you folks are getting emails every day that are getting spammed out, probably from customers, from people, from family members. We've got this thing locked down pretty tight. I don't know, it seems like Fort Knox to try to get an email through. So what I would encourage you to do, and what I do every day, and this is for everybody on the call, the managers, the salespeople, everybody on the call, make it a habit to pop open your phone at least once a day. Maybe when you just get a minute, just get in there and it'll take you real quick to just kind of spam through what's in your junk. I find stuff in there all the time from customers, from people that, are friends of mine that get kind of spammed out. We've got it tightened down, like I said, Fort Knox. I don't know why it's not my place to explain that. I saw an email on it today, the security, but make sure you're checking that junk and just clearing that every day. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Makes some sense. The other thing I would say is that Victor is going to tease me, but yesterday was National Change Your Wiper Blade Day. And if you don't inspect them today, right? Inspect your wipers today before he's going to laugh. But inspect your wipers. And the first thing you can do, you can clean them up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a rag to clean them. But if they need replaced, get to your boss and get them replaced. We don't need anybody getting into an accident or having a problem because they couldn't see because their wipers weren't working. I did that with my kids, so quit making fun of me. Okay. All right. The next thing is, we're going to do kind of a unique thing next month. We're going to have one broadcast. We're going to have 2 broadcasts, 2 different time zones, but we're going to do them all in one day. We're going to combine the commercial broadcast and the sales and the residential sales broadcast into one. That's going to be December 14th, so mark your calendars. We'll do an 8:30 Eastern, and we will do an 11 o'clock Eastern broadcast. We're going to bring everybody together, both sides of the house, the commercial and the residential, to kind of really celebrate what we've been able to do and kind of do a holiday kind of thing, right? I mean, that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, so that's all I got. Other than Thanksgiving is without a doubt my favorite holiday. I think it's all about the gratitude, and I just wanted to wish everybody out there, a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving, and just enjoy the time with your family, because y'all are killing it. And we got another month and a half. We got 45 days left to punch your tickets to President's Club and all that fun stuff. But remember your families and take care of them. Anything else?
Attitude of gratitude.
Attitude of gratitude.
Well done on the numbers, though. Congratulations.
Yeah, killer. We're out. Thank you all. Be safe.
Happy Thanksgiving.